Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest from the live radar. Then we'll go through the various short range models including the UK Met Office RUN, the Arpege and the Icon, as we do have some very heavy rain and potentially thunderstorms, major thunderstorms potentially over the next 12 to 24 hours. And then we'll also have a look at the GFS and the ensembles as well, as although it is a little bit unsettled over the next few days with heavier pulses of rain and thunderstorms around, it is generally turning drier and warmer as we head towards the Easter weekend, and that's what we've been looking at in the last few videos. But today we are going to be concentrating on the immediate risks of any of this heavier rain and thundery activity over the course of this evening through tomorrow and Wednesday as well. Just remember, if you enjoy my videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well. The link's in the description. So you can see at the moment, as we have a look at the live radar, you can see many areas are dry, but we do have areas of rain and some heavy rain with that as well. Now, most of you out there may have felt today, if you've been outside, it's a little bit muggier and milder today. And that's because we have got quite a warm air mass aloft, getting up to 10 degrees at 850 HPA in the far south. That would give temperatures in the mid to high 20s if we were in the depth of summer. But still being April, it gives warmer conditions, getting up into the high teens, but it's also dragging up a lot of moisture as well. That's why it's been quite cloudy, a lot of clouds bubbling up, and we are seeing this heavier rain break out. You can see this sort of showery band across northwest England, all the way through into parts of Yorkshire, into the Midlands as well. Heavier pulses within that, potentially some thundery activity as well as that moves northwards, and you can see further southwards some showers as well. And this activity will only increase over the course of the evening as an occluded front does arrive around midnight to the early hours, bringing very heavy rain quite widely further westwards, tracking northwards, but also on its eastern flank, mixing in with increased amounts of Cape and warmer air. We could see some thunderstorms break out, significant thunderstorms as well. So we could be seeing a thundery outbreak. It's very uncertain, as we'll see with the models in a minute. They are not really together at all. They're all showing precipitation around, but exact locations and intensity is very much uncertain, and it's pretty typical in these sort of convective nature where we see storms popping up. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. But for the time being, it's quite muggy out there, cloudy, and we have rain breaking out quite widely, especially in northern and western areas, but not exclusively as well. So we do have a look at the UK Met Office RUN first. You can see, as I'm recording this in the afternoon, we do have that heavier rain breaking out around 4 or 5 p.m. across northern areas. And that is not really as expansive as it is in reality. So already the UK Met Office RUN is underdoing it a little bit. That rain will only expand as it heads northwards. And then if you look at the far south, around midnight, we do see heavier pulses of rain. Showery rain, there were brighter spells, well, not brighter spells, but clearer skies and drier spells between this. But you can see very heavy pulses of rain, sort of these oranges and reds symbolising potentially torrential rain and thundery activity, spreading northwards through the early hours. So you can wake up tomorrow, it could be a lot of spray around, heavy rain as well if you're up early in the morning, especially further northwards as well, could be very heavy with that precipitation. And as it spreads northwards, we do see some clearer skies further southwards, and we see more thundery activity over the course of Tuesday afternoon, potentially in the West Midlands, into the northwest of England, into East Anglia. You can see more persistent torrential rain into the far southwest and widely across Ireland. For the far north, across Scotland, it's more of that occluded front, bringing more persistent but more moderate rain. So you can see all these reds showing thundery outbreaks, very, very possible, and those continue through Tuesday evening, spreading northwards and eastwards before sort of petering away through Tuesday evening. And then as we head through to Wednesday around lunchtime, those showers and storms pop up once again. I wouldn't take these charts too literally, as they are, again, very convective nature. It's very difficult to forecast these accurately at the best of times, but let alone when they're sort of scattered like this, very, very sort of convective based. Especially through Tuesday and Wednesday afternoon, they're going to be hit and miss. Some areas could get an absolute downpour, others could stay dry and just see the big cumulonimbus clouds in the distance. So it's something we need to keep an eye on. If you've got any plans for sort of Tuesday or Wednesday afternoon, or of course early Tuesday morning, do keep mindful of the radar, as that's going to be the best measure in this. We can have a look at the models all we want, but in reality, it's the radar that is the most important thing to have a look at, especially if you're heading out. Just look if there are storms around. They are generally moving southwards to northwards, so if you are seeing a storm 10-20 miles southwards of you, it's very likely to be near you in a sort of a very short period of time. So that's the thing we've got to look at, is the radar over the next couple of days. But as we head towards Thursday, you see a weather front trying to push in from the west, but it does fizzle away, and that precipitation does dissipate. By Friday afternoon, yes, some showery outbreaks, but generally it's pretty dry, and as we head into the weekend, things will be increasingly dry, especially further southwards and eastwards. North and westwards, more weather fronts trying to push in, but they're going to struggle, and it's not going to be too heavy in terms of precipitation, but generally just more cloud. Now, if we do have a look at the temperatures, you'll see today a little bit more muggy, 15 to 17 degrees, especially further southwards. And that's going to continue even tonight. Temperatures not dropping much lower than 13 degrees, perhaps in London, and that's going to help those showers stay active and those storms stay active. Through Tuesday, you can see in the afternoon, once again, temperatures popping up to around 15 to 17 degrees, pretty warm indeed. Very similar through Wednesday as well. 18, 19, 20 degrees is very possible, quite widely across many areas of England, Wales, Ireland, Northern Ireland, far northern Scotland, maybe a bit chillier, but still could be warm in a few spots. And Thursday, once again, those temperatures really climbing to 20 degrees. And again, these warmer temperatures, although it's very pleasant, and when it's dry, they will aid any storms that do pop off or any showers that do pop off. Warm, moist air is always going to have a payoff in terms of shower activity. So it is something that we need to keep an eye on. But luckily, as we're towards the weekend, it definitely does look like high pressure will be taking more control, as we'll see with the GFS and the ensembles at the end of the video. And then through Friday, another really quite nice day, widely 18 to 20 degrees, perhaps potentially 21, 22 degrees in the Midlands into the far southeast towards the London area. And you can see by early hours of Saturday, not dropping too low, down to sort of 10 to 12 degrees. Pretty decent indeed. So we do have a look at the arpège run. Just have a look at that thundery activity. Now you can see those showers breaking out this evening. Again, nowhere near as widespread as on the radar. So it just shows you, even this run only came out a few hours ago, it was already a little bit inaccurate, only 3 or 4 hours into the run. Just shows you the convective nature of these showers and storms. Through Monday evening, you see all these showers and storms head up from the south, not affecting the south as much, but sparking further northwards in the Midlands, perhaps. And then we see more persistent rain through the early hours spread further westwards. And again, it's on this eastern flank where we can see storms popping off. And those spread northwards. And through Tuesday, showers are breaking once again further southwards before things dying off. And the occluded front gives more persistent rain further northwards. Through Wednesday evening or Wednesday afternoon, again, more of these showers breaking out. Not quite as accurate or not quite as widespread really as the UK Met Office run, but arpège is definitely a little bit more inaccurate in terms of convection. And as we head through Wednesday evening into Thursday, you see weather fronts trying to push in from the west, not making too much progress, just soaking for Ireland and perhaps potentially Western Scotland, but elsewhere staying really quite dry all the way into Easter Friday or Good Friday. If we do have a look at the Icon run, see how that does compare. Again, that showery outbreak this evening further northwards, and then we see big precipitation heading up from the south through the early hours, heavy, especially in the west, but more showery further eastwards, but the higher potential of more torrential downpours with thundery activity. That spreads northwards, and then we see showery regime again through Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon, before we just see weather fronts spreading in from the west. Making a bit more progress there on the Icon run, but still fizzling out as it spreads eastwards before it looks really quite dry towards the weekend. And you have a look at those max temperatures, Saturday midday, a good few hours before the peak, getting up towards 19 to 20 degrees. So Saturday could be 22, 23 degrees for some. So yes, thunderstorms and heavy rain over the coming days, but as we head towards Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's going to be turning increasingly warmer and increasingly drier as well. So at least something to look forward to. So we do have a look at the GFS and we have a look at the ensembles. You can see we've got this southerly push of air at the moment, and with low pressure out in the Atlantic, that's fueling these showers and storms. As that low pressure moves northwards, you can see we're still a little under low pressure influence by Wednesday. and that's still going to allow those showers to develop, but the high pressure does build stronger through Friday, and that's where we go drier and warmer. We stay warm all the way through the weekend, and then by Easter Monday, perhaps weather fronts trying to push in from the Atlantic, but high pressure is staying firmly in control. Yes, could be showery with more of an easterly flow there, but continually quite dry generally. Still will be rain around, of course, and showers and increased cloud, and we do start to put in quite a brisk easterly wind. But being end of April, it's not too cold in terms of an easterly wind. So if you run it back and have a look at those 850 HPA temperatures, you can see warm plume of air moving northwards at the moment, spreading through all areas, fueling the showers and storms, and then we see generally mild to warm air over the top of the UK, and it stays like that all the way through the weekend before we do see cooler air starting to try and push in, and then we do actually see a little bit of a plunge of colder air there. It could be very heavy rain potentially with that interaction, but again, that's toward day 10, and as we'll have a look at the ensembles in a minute, it is pretty unlikely we see that scenario. Beyond that, we do stay pretty warm and showery, especially further northwards and westwards, and then we just see a plume of quite warm air come up from the southeast, and that would be really quite pleasant indeed. So you can see GFS run a little bit all over the place because of the blocking over the top and to the north. It has been like that for the last few days, so I wouldn't look anything too literally after 7 days. But for the time being, it's looking very dry and warm towards this weekend. Just got to get through a few showers, heavy rain, and some thundery activity over the next 48 hours. So if you do have a look at the ensembles, you can see really well reflected, warm over the next 7 days, all the way to around the 18th, 19th of April, when there does become a little bit more uncertainty. Quite mild at the moment, dropping a little bit as high pressure does build back in and that low pressure does move through. And you can see over the next 7 days, there are showers around. There is going to be some convection around, but I'm not expecting, at least further eastwards, any major frontal systems, just hit and miss showers and storms. We continue through the quite a mild air mass, good 5 degrees above average, all the way, as I said, towards the 18th, 19th of April, before it returns trends towards average, and that's because we've got some colder runs, but we also have some warmer runs as well. So a bit of uncertainty there, perhaps returning a little bit chillier. And we stay around average all the way towards the end of the run. Precipitation signal increasing a little bit, so perhaps more precipitation and more low pressure around, but generally still looking really quite pleasant. Sea level pressure, you can see real high pressure over the course of the Easter weekend. Again, symbolic of dry, warm conditions, trending lower pressure towards the end of April. But again, very far in the future and too difficult to say exactly what we're going to be seeing for the time being. If we look at the 2 metre temperatures and precipitation, you can see over the next week or so, widely mid to high teens. Tomorrow we're going to be seeing temperatures again, 16, 17 degrees, increasing towards the weekend and peaking on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, towards the low 20s. And again, the operational run here and the ensembles do underdo it a bit because they are, of course, lower resolution compared to the UK Met Office run, the Icon, the Arpège. They will underdo it a little bit, and locally temperatures will be up into 22, maybe 23 degrees. Wouldn't be surprised to see those sort of values in about a week's time. Warmest day of the year, potentially. For it does trend a little bit cooler in the longer term, but there are colder and milder outliers, and it's just something we need to keep an eye on. If you have a look at the Eastern BF runs or ensemble runs, just to see what they're showing, very similar, very mild over the next couple of weeks. Yes, precipitation over the next day or two with the heavy showers and storms, but staying very, very warm and less of a colder dip in around the 19th to 21st of April, interestingly. And yeah, it just stays around or above average all the way to the end of the run, looking really quite decent indeed. So yeah, some showers and storms over the next 48 hours, so do keep mindful of that. And as I said, make sure you keep an eye on the live radar. Any apps are going to be pretty useless in this scenario because the situation can change very, very quickly in the space of half an hour to an hour, and the apps do very much lag behind sometimes. It could be a storm outside and the apps would say just a partly cloudy with 10% chance of rain. But that is just the nature of convective showers and storms. So I'd advise you, if you are going out and you need to know if there is going to be heavy rain around or any lightning activity, do check the radar, any free radar, or just use the Met Office app, which has very good radar showing you the last 6 hours, and you can see how showers and storms are developing, seeing if they're popping off and the direction of movement as well. So I'd advise, if you are going out, to check the radar, as I said. But hopefully towards the weekend is looking much better with drier weather for most and turning pretty warm for all, with the best conditions potentially down in the south and the east, getting up towards 22, 23 degrees possibly towards the weekend. So anyway, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you stay safe out there over the next day or two in these showers and storms, and I'll see you again for another video soon.